The film Avatar in 2009 was a cinematic phenomenon that left the masses spellbound in theaters. A film that raised the bar of visual spectacle set the standard for subsequent commercial films to follow. And it's no surprise that its sequel, Avatar: The Way of Water, took over a decade, 13 years precisely, to arrive in theaters. Because come on guys, remember who we have at the helm of it. None other than the legendary and visionary filmmaker James Cameron, who is renowned for his extensive planning and putting years of research in order to bring his ambitious projects to life. And bro, I'm astonished, flabbergasted, overwhelmed, and definitely at a loss of words after seeing his magic unfold on the big screen. Clearly, I love the movie, and it is undoubtedly the best visual experience I've had in theaters this year. In this video, I'll talk about things that made me love it and what I think it could have done better. Let's start with the stuff that needed a little more fine-tuning. Number 1, runtime. Okay, I get it. 3 hours and 12 minutes is not a runtime that the audience is too comfortable with. Unless the movie is another entry in the slate of a long-running franchise like Marvel or DC, a runtime as long as 3 hours excluding credits could test the audience's patience. Now, except at 1 or 2 places, I personally did not feel the impact of its long runtime, as the story is not at fault here, which kept me rooting for it. However, I believe it could have been a touch under 3 hours to avoid those little moments of fatigue creeping into the routine, primarily due to it being unusually lengthy. I guess the director will consider working on this aspect in the upcoming sequels and come up with an effective runtime. Number 2, dialogue. Again, this is not a huge deterrent in the grand scheme of things as it is present only momentarily, but it definitely caught my eye on multiple occasions. I wish the dialogues were slightly more refined in those fleeting moments, but as I said before, because it's so brief, it doesn't really matter. When a film deals with a novel subject and is exploratory in nature, it is critical for the filmmakers to keep the dialogues grounded and simple enough for the general public to understand without being expository. With that in mind, I think it does the job admirably. Now, on to the things that I loved. Number 1, cinematography, VFX and CGI. I can't really express how beautifully it is shot, aided perfectly by awesome VFX and quality CGI. Each frame looks drop-dead gorgeous and says something about the world of Pandora. The wide-angle sweeping shots add visual charm and fluidity to the scenes, creating a sense of calm and delight. It's a visual delicacy that can't be missed on the big screen. At one point, the underwater shots looked so stunning that I simply started giggling like a kid, marveling at their incredible detailing and amazing finesse. Number 2, 3D. I know it's strange, but the first 3D film I saw was Padmavat in 2018. While it was an exciting and novel experience, I only became critical of 3D films after watching Marvel movies in 3D. And my god, barring a few, almost every Marvel film has left me with a headache or dizziness at the end. While Marvel has succeeded in delivering fun and entertaining movies through their quality content, the issues in their 3D releases such as the dim lighting and the haziness of the picture quality are clearly difficult to bear. But thank God for James Cameron, who comes to the rescue with his technical knowledge of filmmaking tools and 3D format. Avatar's success in 2009 was itself a big promoter of 3D films worldwide, and James Cameron once again shows why he is still ahead of the rest in getting the technology right for his films. As he has mentioned in a number of promotions, they worked on certain technical aspects for months and years, trying to figure out the right specifications and ways to create a seamless 3D viewing experience. There is optimum brightness and absolute neatness in the picture quality, and at no point did I feel the film suffered from poor lighting or haziness. वो कहते हैं ना मक्खन की तरह smooth एकदम. Trust me, it's an absolute delight to see such magical fluidity in scenes, especially the flying and underwater shots exploring Pandora's landscape, much more soothing to the eyes and far superior in quality, clearly ahead of other traditional 3D releases of today. Number 3, performance capture. As I mentioned in my previous video, one of the main reasons for the sequel's lengthy delay was that James Cameron's performance capture technology used in first Avatar proved ineffective underwater in the sequel. After years of investment, planning and development, he came up with a tech that could do the job underwater. The performance capture works just as well underwater as it does on land and looks stunningly smooth. In fact, the facial nuances of the Na'vi characters are far more pronounced, clean, and natural than in the first Avatar. The entire act of mannerisms, gestures, and expressions of the Navi characters comes across very well on the big screen. Number 4. Action. I never imagined a sea battle could be so inventive, with such clarity and precision. Every detail, such as the sharp movements and surprise attacks, is meticulously executed and easily visible on screen. And talk about nature getting involved in the battle, my god, it adds to the exhilaration. I wanted to give it a standing ovation as not only is the battle spectacular, but so are the other acts involving Pandoran wildlife. The impressive sound design amplifies the impact of it all. The Way of Water is spot on with the nitty-gritties of its action sequences, creating a flawless and immersive experience for the audience. Number 5. Vision and world building. The story is exploratory in nature with slow burn drama at its core, which is being criticized here a bit. But on the contrary, I think it is very important, because we do not know much about Pandora other than what we saw in the first film. James Cameron has been making movies since the 70s and the 80s era, so quite understandably, extensive and intriguing human drama is a major driving force in his films, allowing the characters to spend time with the audience with ample dialogue and screen time. And in The Way of Water, he uses the 3 hours long runtime to meet this very purpose, that is, creating a strong emotional base through and for the characters to connect with the audience. He knows that an engaging drama is paramount to making the audience feel and root for the characters during times of great losses and disappointments. Yes, it's a valid point that a father-son strained relationship and family dynamics are not fresh concepts, but it works as it is convincingly portrayed, especially Loak and Kiri's exciting subplots. There are other exciting events to look forward to, and the story continues to develop. The fact that 3 more sequels are slated for release in the coming years, a long runtime, plethora of emotion, drama, with slowly developing characters and story, well, these are clear indications that James Cameron is trying to establish a solid launchpad for the franchise to really take off in the upcoming sequels. He's holding back the juice of the larger story and is preparing the audience for the jackpot. The world building is important when you are making a franchise that spans over 4 or 5 movies, and it happens primarily when you connect with the characters on a personal and familial level. Jake and Neytiri's family exudes a cozy and playful familial vibe. Their adaptability and survival as a family form the juice of the story, and it's a fun ride to watch that journey unfold. In terms of characters, I can't think of anyone who stood out, other than Kiri, played by Sigourney Weaver. The subject is so grand that it's difficult to look beyond it and find standout performances, as was the case with the first Avatar in 2009, and call it a double-edged sword, but James Cameron has not created a character in Avatar franchise who rises above the script and becomes the film's highlight. This may have been a conscious effort from him and his writers because, as actor Matt Damon revealed, James Cameron first offered him the role of Jake Sully along with 10% of the film's earnings in 2009, stating that the unique plot is the hero of the film more than the characters. Well, poor Matt Damon missed out on a gold mine. But what stands out is that James Cameron, right from the onset, focused mainly on creating an exciting and novel world with all the feels of escapism and fantasy, keeping the characters second. But it does not bother the movie at all. Every actor does the job of meeting the bare minimum of looking convincing with the script in hand. They are all likable, but are they memorable like some of the other characters in his previous films? Well, I'm still figuring it out and probably will have to wait longer to see how well they age over the next few years. Among the many positive aspects of the film is its subtle messaging. Like the first movie, it explores the people of Pandora and the cultural interdependency of different species, creating a sense of childlike excitement. James Cameron puts on a show in capturing the moments depicting the symbiotic relationship between different creatures and how understanding and respectful they are of each other. Also, the theme of wildlife awareness and preservation is normalized and structured in a way to be realized as part of the story and screenplay, but still creates an impact with its extremely vivid and hard-hitting presentation. The issues such as animal poaching and environmental exploitation are depicted so accurately that it evoked real feelings of anger and frustration within me. Having missed out on watching the first Avatar in theaters back in 2009, I'm glad I saw this movie on the big screen. It is made to be experienced in cinemas because only then can you truly feel, see, and appreciate the artistry and hard work that went into creating this visually stimulating and charming fantasy. I'm still excited for the third part despite its minor plot inadequacies because this guy knows how to lure the audience into the theaters by making a high quality enjoyable entertainer. The intricate story and layered characters are not standout elements of his style, but they are also not entirely superficial. His films have a more popcorn fun treatment in which the story continues to travel, exploring and unraveling its novelty, at the same time keeping the storytelling exciting and adventurous, which is exactly what the masses are attracted to. I like that there is no post-credit scene which can sometimes take the focus away from the main story. However, the film ends with a few unanswered questions, leaving the audience eagerly anticipating the sequels. I am salivating at the prospect of what James Cameron has in store for us in the upcoming entries and have full faith in him. Despite having directed only 9 films in his entire career of 40 plus years, it's insane that audiences amass in huge numbers in the theaters for his movies. The guy has the distinction of directing 2 of the top 5 highest worldwide grossers, who is revered for pushing the boundaries of big screen spectacle and redefining the usage of some novel technologies in the commercial film space. The high frame rate in 3D is a clear winner, and for someone like me who is not a big fan of 3D, James Cameron scripts an absolute turnaround with this movie. I request you to please watch this movie in 3D to fully appreciate his showmanship and technical brilliance. I liked it more than the first Avatar because it is more personal, steady, and naive, and delves a little deeper into the Avatar lore. As for the remaining movies, James Cameron clearly stated that The Way of Water will have a definite conclusion instead of a cliffhanger ending, which tells me they will explore Earth's backstory a little bit. He has shot majority of part 3 with some bits of part 4, but warned that part 4 and 5 may not see the light of the day in case the second and third movies don't do well financially. The film has done well in its early days, but only the audience's reaction and word of mouth will determine how long it can sustain its box office success, despite being a truly excellent film. Well, regardless, this was my best outing in theaters in 2022, and I wish the movie continues its good run for as long as it can. So what are your thoughts and theories about the movie? Tell us about it in the comment section down below along with your feedback. और वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो like, share and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching और मिलते हैं अगले वीडियो में.